I inherited an old house, and at first I thought it was just another empty building until I found a hidden door in the basement. Behind it, something was waiting, and it wasn't supposed to exist. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. I had always loved traveling alone, enjoying the freedom of not depending on anyone else. That night, I was driving back from a long business trip. The road stretched endlessly in the darkness, and fatigue slowly crept over me. My eyes burned, my thoughts became heavy, and when I saw a dimly lit sign on the side of the road that read hotel, I decided to stop and spend the night there. The building looked strange from the outside. It wasn't ruined, but it wasn't exactly well kept either. A two-story structure with dark windows, half of them covered by heavy curtains. There were no cars in the parking lot, no people outside. Only one flickering light above the entrance. Still, the exhaustion was stronger than suspicion, so I pushed the door and went inside. The lobby met me with silence. The air smelled of dampness and dust, but everything looked surprisingly clean. The old furniture, the reception desk, the carpet. There was no one behind the counter, but a bell sat on it. I rang it once. No answer. After a few seconds, I rang again. The sound echoed through the hall, and then, as if out of nowhere, a woman appeared. She looked ordinary, but her face seemed too pale. Without a word, she handed me a key, and I noticed there was no number on it, just a rusty tag. I tried to ask about the room, about the price, but she didn't answer. She only nodded toward the staircase. Her silence unsettled me, but I convinced myself that maybe she didn't speak much English or simply didn't want to chat. I decided to leave it at that. The hallway upstairs was dimly lit, and the carpet muffled my steps. I reached the door, tried the key, and it fit perfectly. The room was small, but neat. An old bed, a wardrobe, a mirror in the corner. Nothing strange except for the silence. No sounds of other guests, no city noise outside the window. Just an oppressive, heavy stillness. I lay down on the bed and turned off the light. Sleep didn't come easily. Every time I closed my eyes, I thought I heard something. The creak of floorboards, the rustle of fabric, faint steps behind the door. I told myself it was just an old building and my tired mind playing tricks on me. Around midnight, I woke up to the sound of whispering. Very quiet, but definitely there. It seemed to be coming from the hallway. I listened closely. The words were indistinguishable, but it wasn't just one voice. It was several. They whispered in unison like a chant. My whole body froze. For a few minutes, I just lay there, staring at the ceiling. Then, gathering courage, I got up, opened the door, and looked out. The hallway was empty, dark, silent, not a single sound. I shut the door quickly and locked it. My heart was pounding. I sat on the bed, staring at the mirror. And then I noticed something. The reflection showed the room, the wardrobe, the bed, the window. But in the far corner, behind me, there was a shadow. A figure, tall, motionless. I spun around, nothing. The corner was empty. When I looked back at the mirror, the shadow was gone too. That was enough. I couldn't stay there. I grabbed my bag, rushed out of the room, and practically ran down the stairs. The lobby was empty again. The woman at the counter was nowhere to be seen. I pushed the door and stepped outside into the night air, breathing heavily as if I had been holding my breath all that time. When I reached my car, I froze for a moment. The parking lot was still empty, except for my vehicle. I glanced back at the hotel. The building stood in silence, completely dark now, as though it had never been open. No lights, no flickering sign. Just an abandoned structure with boarded-up windows. I didn't waste another second. I got in the car and drove away as fast as I could. Only when I was many miles down the road did I finally slow down and let myself breathe. But even now, when I think about that night, I remember one detail that chills me to the bone. The key. I still had it in my pocket.